Conservative Manifesto, number 2, the environment. Eliminate the special tax-exempt status granted to environmental groups since they are not nonpartisan charitable foundations. Eliminate special statutory authority that grants environmental groups standing to bring lawsuits on behalf of the public, since their main purpose is to pursue the statist agenda through litigation. In other words, folks, go at their constituencies. Don't stand still for this. Why are we subsidizing them? Fight all efforts to use environmental regulations to set governmental industrial policies and diminish the nation's standard of living, such as cap and trade to regulate so-called man-made climate change. A Conservative Manifesto, number 3, judges. I think I'll do the first 5 today and the other 5 tomorrow. Number 3, judges. Limit the Supreme Court's judicial review power, which far exceeds the framers' intent, by establishing a legislative veto over court decisions. I wrote this in Men in Black. Perhaps a 2/3 supermajority vote of both houses of Congress, not dissimilar from the congressional override authority of a presidential veto. You see, folks, the framers had a particular affinity for Congress, and even more particularly the House of Representatives. So they built in this supermajority veto as applies to the representative branches, Congress versus the President. And what I'm saying is that we need to amend the Constitution and build in that same veto authority over justices and courts that are utterly out of control. And let me be clear, it is not easy to get a 2/3 supermajority for anything. Think about the Senate. You can't get 3/5 60 votes. So I'm talking about 2/3 66. So it's not easy. It shouldn't be easy. But there needs to be an escape valve for a judicial oligarchy. Let me go on. The Conservative Manifesto on judges. Eliminate lifetime tenure for federal judges, given the extra constitutional power they have amassed and their routine intervention in political and policy decisions, which the Constitution leaves to the representative branches. No judicial nominee should be confirmed who rejects the jurisprudence of originalism. Let me be clear about this. While judges and justices may disagree as a result of their analysis under originalism and come to different conclusions, it is the only legitimate form of examining and interpreting the Constitution of the United States, to try and determine what the wording meant at the time it was ratified. There is no other legitimate process, period. All the other processes are concoctions intended to manipulate the law. A Conservative Manifesto, number 4. Sunset all independent so-called federal agencies each year, subject to Congress affirmatively reestablishing them, including the FCC, the FEC, the FDA, and on and on. Require federal departments and agencies to reimburse individuals and enterprises for the costs associated with the devaluation of their private property from the issuance of regulations that comprise the use of their property. Eliminate unions for federal government employees, since the purpose of a federal civil service system is to promote merit and professionalism over patronage, and the purpose of a federal government union is to empower itself and promote statism. Rather than increase, reduce the civilian federal workforce by 20% or more. A Conservative Manifesto, number 5, and the last one I'll touch on today. I'll do the others tomorrow. If you have the book, you can read them yourselves. Eliminate monopoly control of government education by applying the antitrust laws to the National Education Association and the American Federation of Teachers. The monopoly is destructive of quality education and competition, and it is unresponsive to taxpayers who fund it. Eliminate tenure for government school teachers and college university professors, making them accountable for the quality of instruction they provide students. Strip the status agenda from curricula, such as multiculturalism and global warming, and replace it with curricula that reinforce actual education and the preservation of the civil society through its core principles. And eliminate the Federal Department of Education, since education is primarily a state and local function. There are more. I'll get to them tomorrow. Now you might say, Mark, those are mighty fine aspects to your manifesto. How do we do it? We don't do it tomorrow. It takes time. Their destruction and nationalization of the healthcare system has taken them 75 years. Now, we have to gradually chip away at this and reintroduce our society to the principles that have made it great, and to embrace policies that advance those principles. So many people are stunned at what I'm talking about, or what I've written. What's so stunning? What's so stunning? These are common sense views based on solid principles, which will enhance our society. It'll improve our society and our way of life. We have to fight back, and we have our agenda. And we'll have our agenda. And I'm sure, as I said at the opening of my reading of this manifesto, there are many other great ideas out there based on our principles. I'm all for them. I'm not saying I have the only knowledge here, but I am all for sensible policies that will advance our principles. And I know these policies can't be installed immediately, but we need to push them, and be utterly persistent about it, just as our enemies are. That's right, our enemies. I've been calling them opponents and adversaries, but I think I'm being too kind to them.